Hello, everybody. You're watching the Mike Nelson Show. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe right now. We got over 1,000 of you subscribed around the world. We're posting interviews all the time. Basically, it's been pretty awesome these last couple of years. So without you guys, the channel would be still having like 5 or 10 subs, but thankfully, it's been growing a lot. Today, I got a pretty cool guest. I got Willa. How you doing today, Willa?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Out here in California. I wish it was warmer, but it's not. It's pretty cold. But what can you do?
I know I'm in NorCal, so we're in the same boat.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I know it's Southern California because I'm from Southern California originally. I know it's a lot warmer. It's a lot sunnier down there. So, oh well.
hmm
What can you do?
What
But
can you
but
do?
Willa, tell me a little bit about where your musical journey kind of kicked off. Like where did it all start for you in terms of music? When did you start listening to music? Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, I've been listening to and I guess writing music a little bit throughout my whole life, like since I was a kid, but I didn't start taking it seriously until I was probably like 19 and I started meeting a lot of creatives in my area and just really just trying to do as much as I could with it. And since then, it's just been a crazy 2 years just trying to make music and work on my art and meet people, and it's been a really cool journey, but yeah, it started from the time I was super, super young, like from the beginning.
What were you listening to back then? Like growing up, like what kind of music were you into?
I loved like early Katy Perry stuff, Lady Gaga, and then I discovered Sabrina Carpenter when I was really young and when she was just like first starting out. And so I've just kind of loved Sabrina Carpenter like from the beginning and just followed her through her journey. And now she's just like huge and I still love her. So she's like the biggest influence, I'd say, in all my music.
And that kind of inspired you to start like singing, or did you play like another instrument before, or kind of how did you kind of start making music?
I played piano. I took lessons when I was like 6 and hated them, but I
You didn't
still
like it.
did it. No, I
Did you
hated
learn how
the
to read
lessons.
music though, at least?
Yeah, I
Okay,
learned there was like a Sudoku method I learned too,
okay,
something like that. Or not Sudoku. That's a game. Suzuki
that's a
method.
game.
Yeah,
Suzuki,
that's a game.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's all
yeah, I've
about
heard of it.
reading
Yeah,
by ear. Yeah,
yeah.
so I did that and that kind of allowed me to reteach myself when I was like 15. And after that I started to love piano again and writing again, but yeah, I never was into like lessons or like learning about music. I just wanted to like do it. So
And when you started doing it, did you kind of just start like writing your own stuff, or were you kind of just emulating other artists first?
I don't know. I mean, I hadn't had a lot of like love experiences when I was like 15 or anything to really write about, but it was all just kind of whatever I felt like writing and whatever random thing inspired me in the moment. And I mean, I definitely took inspiration from people like Sabrina Carpenter and Katy Perry and all the big ones, but I feel like I've always been really drawn to writing about myself and my life, even when I didn't have a lot of experience in things. But yeah, I think I just love telling stories and being able to put my own spin on music. And I think that's been like the most rewarding part of the process for me is getting to share like me and my story through music.
So that's been like the last couple years, then, like releasing different singles. Is that correct? The last couple years you've been doing that?
Yeah, just 2 years I've been releasing. I've released a few singles and two EPs now, and yeah, it's been really cool and fun. But
How did you kind of get in? How did you kind of like get into that process of like releasing music? Did you just kind of do it yourself, or did
I
somebody
mean,
kind of help you out? How did that
I've
happen?
I've had a lot of help along the way. There's been a lot of people that I've met who knew more than I did and were more experienced and already had a foundation for themselves. But my first single I released completely by myself. I was,
Wow.
yeah, really young and just like threw it out, just wanted to see what happened. And it didn't do much. But then I started to meet people through that, and they really pointed me in all the right directions of learning how to market myself and release. And now I'm just kind of going with the flow with it after I've learned so much from other people in my life. But yeah, it's not just me. Like I have so much help with producers and friends and other artists that I know. So yeah, it takes a village for sure.
And you started like meeting people through shows or like through the scene that you're in. Like how did that happen for you? Like it kind of happens differently. But tell me more about how you kind of like got yourself out there in the music scene.
Yeah, I mean, social media was huge. I always had social media that I utilized to put myself out there in my music. And In my area, I live in Reading, and there's actually a huge community of artists that I didn't even know about when I first started, and so they all are very like there's such a unit here, and everyone knows everyone who makes music, and I wasn't really in my local scene yet, and people started to find me and seeing that I was like interested in music and doing the work and putting stuff out there, and they started to reach out to me and wanted me to like work in their studios and meet them and from then on it's just been like a crazy like waterfall effect of like meeting all these different people and just building and growing and yeah, it's a huge community here of creatives honestly, which is really helpful and neat. So, it's helped a lot in the process.
But like, what kind of genre were you did you kind of put yourself into in that scene? Like, is there like everything there, like rock, metal, pop, jazz? Like, what kind of music scene is out there in Reading, like that you're talking about?
I feel like there's so many different scenes because there's just so many individuals here doing their own thing. There's definitely like a hardcore metal scene going on. There's a lot of bands, but there's also a lot of people who are doing like pop music and indie music and it's just such a cool collective of everything. But I've always specialized in just like pop singer-songwriter stuff. And so it's been cool to kind of find the people who like to do what I do and be able to take advice from them and relate to them and work with them. But yeah, there's just like a bit of everything here, honestly. It's pretty crazy.
But it's been kind of like a welcoming community. Then you felt like kind of good in it right away by the
Yeah,
other
I'd say
creatives and
so.
everybody.
Yeah, I think everyone's super welcoming and builds each other up. And there's a lot of shows here all the time. There was a show even like last night that I got to go to, and it was all rap. So that was really cool. But yeah, there's just like a bit of everything, and everyone's always doing something, and everyone's overall very, very supportive, which is cool.
So like, what would you categorize like the genre of your music then? Like, do you categorize your music? I know some artists don't like to do that. They just say like, well, I just put music out there and then, whatever. What would you categorize Willa, the music project as?
I'd say I'm like pop. Like my specialization is pop. I like to try other things. I just recently released like a month or two ago a song called Drain Me with my friend Kalisha and that's very R&B, which is like very much her lane and not mine, but that was fun to do and then I even made an EDM track back in December with another artist up here, Blue 10, and that's like he's rapping on it. There's like a crazy EDM beat that our friend made and that was way out of my comfort zone. But I've tried a bit of everything because I love music, but overall like my projects have always been pop based mainly.
But it seems like you're open to different genres and collaborations. Like you're not kind of limiting yourself.
Totally. I mean, I want to be because there's so much out there and so much that I'm unfamiliar with, and I think it's important to understand music as a whole and not just one little piece of it because there's just so much out there and so many people doing everything with music. It's cool.
What would you say though, like has been like a challenge? Like, because like some artists complain like, it's hard to make music now because like nobody wants to buy music and
Right.
because like there's so much music out there. Like now anybody can kind of do it even if they're not very good at it. But
For sure.
whatever. Like it's kind of like it's really hard now, I think, to kind of like separate yourself and kind of put yourself really out there, right? Because there's like not
Yeah.
really it's just different now, right? The radio's not the same and there's not a lot of like shows like mine that are playing new music. So how has been the challenges in terms of like the music world today?
I think just finding your audience is really hard, and I think for me, my personal challenge is just like when you put yourself out there to be looked at and listened to and essentially judged, it's like you kind of get in your head all the time about that, like wondering what people are going to think of your sound and your project and what you wore on stage and what you said or anything like that. So I think there's a lot more judgment now with especially social media being like the main thing for artists now, where, if you want to try to get yourself out there and make it big, social media is a good thing, but it's also a place of there's a lot of judgment and hate on there. And I think it's super hard not to get in your head when you're doing a project and learn to feel like really secure in yourself and what you know. But yeah, it's definitely hard to like block out all the noise sometimes. And I think that sometimes can make it difficult to keep going with it and feel secure in your music. But I mean, I just think it's so different now. You just kind of have to navigate it very differently, but be very secure in who you are and know what you're doing to really make it successful for you. But
But you have to like kind of block out the noise though, right? Wouldn't you say like not care what people think and just kind of believe in yourself?
Yeah, I think that's the goal. I think it's pretty hard to do though,
Well,
but
yeah, I mean, it is hard, right, for all of us. But all
for
of us that are like
sure.
artists and creatives, like me, same thing, like with my shows and all that. But yeah, I'm just asking you, like, what do you think about that?
I think I think it's been a journey I'm still kind of navigating, just trying to not internalize what people are saying, especially because people really don't know me. I think people sometimes feel like they do because of how open I am online and through my music. I mean, most of my songs are about real stories and real experiences I've gone through, and so I think it almost makes people think they have access to me in a way that they don't, and so they're able to put their own judgments on me as if they were a friend in my life or a family member. And I obviously care about the people who listen to my music because I mean they're the reason I get to keep building and growing, but I mean it's something that you kind of just have to block out the noise that tells you you're someone that you know you're not. So,
Now you mentioned something about, your music having like real life stories. So does that kind of like how you've kind of like you have like a diary or something you go to when you write music, or like how does that work? How do you kind of make music? Everybody has their own way of like writing lyrics or even like coming up with like ideas and how you want it to sound.
yeah, I mean, I always talk about my song Escape Route for that because I mean, my song Escape Route, I released it 2 years ago, and it's probably my most personal track. And it's interesting because I wrote it based off a poem that I wrote that was just sitting like in my notes app on my phone. And I have like journals everywhere. I use like, my phone and voice memos, and I have physical journals. But I think I just kind of in the moment that I'm feeling something, I always want to write it down and keep track of that so I can come back and feel that feeling or, write it on the spot into a song. I love the feeling of music being personal. I think it allows people to relate to it more and maybe understand you more. And yeah, but my song Escape Route, that song, I basically just took this poem and like took the individual lyrics and just like put it to music, which was a really cool experience to be able to do that. But
So you have more like a spontaneous like writing style then, kind of just whatever comes to mind.
it
You don't really
depends.
have
I
a
mean,
structure.
yeah, sometimes. I think sometimes I'm just kind of feeling it out and making a beat, and then like with my producers, and then from there I just kind of feel how the beat feels, what I'm feeling, and just kind of merge that all together into a song. Other times it's a little more planned out, but yeah, usually it's pretty spontaneous actually, which I enjoy, but
And like in terms of like the music, like do you have like a group of producers and stuff you're always working with, or you kind of been working with different people on the singles and the EPs?
yeah, I jump around. I mean, there's a lot of local people in my area that are very, very talented producers. So I've worked with probably like three or four producers in my area. And then just recently, I've started to kind of reach out more to people in LA. And I have someone that mixes my music who lives like way on the East Coast. And I think it's been cool to branch out and work with different people because even though I'm the one who gets to write the songs and sing them, it's fun to have other people put their own touch on songs and make it their own while it's still something that I can relate to and put out and be a part of, I guess.
Now you
But
talked about kind of like reaching out to LA and all that. Is that kind of the goal then to kind of like leave the scene, or are you kind of content with like what do you see like for the future in terms of like going to another music scene and all that?
yeah, I think it'd be cool to live in LA and be able to be a part of that huge scene of music. And I recently took a trip down there and met a bunch of creatives down there, which was really cool. And I mean, I think every artist is like the goal is to go to LA or Nashville or somewhere like that. But I mean, I've been I think I've been fairly successful here in where I live, and it's cool that having everything online, I can talk to whoever, work with whoever. And I'm pretty busy here just like finishing up school and trying to get through to the summer. So I think for now I'm pretty rooted here, but it'd be fun to branch out and go somewhere else and see where that takes me to.
Now talk to me about the music video you recently put out. I saw on Instagram you had like a new music video. Talk to me a little
Yeah,
bit
I've
more about
been
that.
yeah, I've been doing a lot with music videos lately. I put out recently a music video for my song Smoke Signals. That's from my latest EP, and that music video came out late last year, and then I just released the behind the scenes video for it, which was fun to make. And then I'm coming out with in a couple weeks a music video for my song Make You Sweat. So that'll be out soon, and that one's gonna be pretty big. It's taken a long time to finish it all.
Do you like making these music videos? Like, do you have like somebody you work with? Like, how's been the process of getting that done?
Yeah, I've for these videos I've worked with a filmmaker in my area. He goes by Tilt Mode Productions. And he's a friend of mine and really cool and so creative, and I love the music video process and just coming up with visuals for the music. I think I always come up with some visual idea whenever I write a song because I think it's more fun to promote it that way when there's like a theme or a vision or a story to tell. So I really love taking the song and turning it into something you can see and listen to at the same time. I think it's pretty fun to get creative in a different way than just the music. So I like kind of branching out in that way.
Now, for the music videos, you kind of like came up with the ideas, or did somebody kind of help you out? Like, how I know there's how what was the I guess the how did you kind of come up with the ideas for the music video in terms of doing
Yeah,
it?
I mean, it's definitely a group effort. Like, I'm not gonna take all the credit for like
Okay.
any of the videos, but I would say that the main idea for the video always comes from me. I like to be in control of that and be able to tell a story and have it be my vision. I think throughout doing music, I think I've learned that I really enjoy kind of being in the driver's seat and being able to present myself in a way that I want to and see my like music world in a way that only I can see. And even though I definitely love to take ideas from other people, I think I like to be the one who has like the main say in what I put out and what I make and do.
Now, in terms of like having to say, what you do and all that, is that kind of how you're gonna continue like promoting your music? I know social media is like a big key for you. Right now, you're kind of doing all that by yourself. Then you don't have like somebody else doing it, the social media aspect.
No, being a pretty like independent artist right now, I do a majority of things myself. Like I always tell people like when I first started music, I didn't realize how many hats I'd be wearing. Just like, I mean, it's almost like I'm my own manager and marketer and financer, and while all still being a creative and trying to just make the art and then learn how to promote it and fund it and everything. So I do a majority of things by myself, but I definitely have a lot of support through the friends I've made in music and just the people around me in my area. So I definitely am not alone in what I do, but I think a majority of what I do is pretty much on me. So if I don't do it, like no one's going to. So
Yeah, basically, if you don't do the work, like who's gonna do it, right?
yeah, basically.
Now, like, in terms of being like you're right now an independent artist, but do you hope to be signed someday, or do you want to stay independent? Like, I know some people like to be independent and they don't want that influence from some label. Like,
Right.
how do you see that?
I think I'm fairly open to where this journey goes. I think I wouldn't be opposed to being signed. I think having extra help might be a good thing, especially if it helped financially.
Or
But
getting
yeah,
more
I
shows,
think
right? Getting a tour set up, it's a lot easier once you're signed doing that.
oh, it makes things a lot easier. I think my one fear with being signed is just a lack of control again over my music and my brand. I think that's been so important to me to just be able to put out things the way I want to put them out and do things the way I really want to do them in a way that no one else really can. And so, yeah, I think I would definitely be open to being signed and that'd be really cool. But I think I'd want to be cautious about still being able to have creative control over what I do and love to do.
Now, do you have any like shows coming up that you want to promote?
I don't have any shows coming up right now, which is crazy because last year I probably did like 30 shows and
Wow, a lot of
even this
shows.
year,
Wow.
yeah, even this year I got to go up to Portland and do my first show in Portland, which was really a fun experience. And yeah, I've done a few shows already this year, had one like a couple weeks ago, but I'm trying to just take it a little bit slower right now and focus on just kind of the behind the scenes of what I'm doing right now and preparing for future events. And yeah, I don't have anything on the books right now, which is a little weird for me, but hopefully soon.
And hopefully, like this year, then, right? You're hoping to get more shows in like the second half of the year, like winter,
I
fall,
think summer. Yeah, I can,
summer.
yeah, hopefully summer, but I definitely am taking a break for like the next month. I say like a break, and it's probably gonna be a month I have another show, but nothing like right now.
Now, talk to me a little bit more about. I saw on social media, you've been having doing some work with the pet adoptions, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
Talk to
mean,
me more about that. I know you've been posting a lot about that. Maybe you could talk to the viewers and listeners about that.
well, it's something I've seen local postings about a dog shelter in my area. It's the Friends of Shasta Lake Animal Shelter, and I was really drawn to what they were doing and just loved how involved they were with the animals and the way they represented them. And I obviously love dogs and animals. I have a dog of my own, and I really wanted
What's the name of your
to
dog?
Agnes. She has an
Okay,
old lady
Agnes. Oh,
name,
it's a
but
she. Okay.
she's cute. We call her Aggie. She's a
Okay.
Labradoodle. But yeah, I just really wanted to try to get involved somehow. So I ended up visiting last week and I took quite a few videos of their dogs. And just this week, they ended up getting a lot more new dogs added to the shelter. So they were at full capacity as of yesterday. And between yesterday and today, we were able to promote it enough and get all the dogs adopted as of 2 hours ago. So
Wow, that's awesome.
pretty crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really amazing.
Now, last question here. What do you think of like I know kind of asked you already, but like today's like music world, like what do you how do you see like that idea of like putting music out there and like people not like how do you see that? I know like how do you usually release your music? You just put it on Spotify or how does it work like your release of your music?
I mean, I love to make every release feel like it's its own special event, and I do put it on all
Okay,
platforms. And yeah, I like to make sure I'm promoting it and getting people excited about it. And I think I've learned to love my process of releasing songs and being able to get creative with my marketing and pictures and everything. But yeah, I think it's definitely different than it was, you know, in the past.
for
But
sure. We
it's
had like
fun to.
CDs and records, all that's kind of
Oh
disappearing.
yeah, I don't think I have any CDs of my music. It's all digital, but
Yeah.
it's on all platforms, which is cool. But
Yeah. Well, Will, I appreciate your time. I don't know if you have anything else to add before we wrap it up.
I mean, just yeah, get excited for more future projects and things. I'm sure I'm gonna be busy in the next couple weeks, so a lot more to come out.
Well, thanks a lot, Will. I appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to subscribe.
Thank you.